Real Madrid humbled 4-0 by Paris Saint-Germain. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you were unfortunate enough to catch that game, if you're a Madrid fan of course, then you will be well aware that they were miles off it. Paris looked levels ahead of Real Madrid, but I wanted to explore a couple of the things which I believe contributed to their downfall. Aside from the fact that Real Madrid are just starting with a new manager, he's embedding his new ideas, and Luis Enrique has had the best part of 2 years to get those ideas on board with the Paris Saint-Germain players. We all wondered what would happen when Mbappe would be fit for selection, because for the first couple of games, Xabi Alonso had the, I want to say luxury, in inverted commas, of Mbappe being unavailable for selection with gastroenteritis. And I say this because one of the biggest problems that the team faced last season was what to do about Vinicius and Mbappe. How do they work positionally? How do you get the most out of them? And yesterday we saw, again, why it doesn't work. Xabi Alonso bottled it. He played 3 up top because his thinking was, I can't drop Gonzalo Garcia because he's our top scorer in the tournament. He's the guy that I've trusted so far. But I can't drop Mbappe either because it's Kylian Mbappe. He's the top scorer of the club, one of the best players in the world. But what do I do about Vinicius? Surely he's not going to want to sit on the bench. And in the end, he played all 3, and it was a disaster. What was Gonzalo doing on the right wing, by the way? Your only pure number 9. Like, what were you expecting from this? Then you've got Vinicius and Mbappe with lazy half attempts at pressing the ball. And you contrast that with what Dembele, Kvaratskhelia and Doué were doing. The way that the second half started was that Vitinha deliberately kicked the ball out of play. The second that Courtois puts the ball down, you can see him, the position of his body, he's ready to sprint at him, and they did it over and over again. Everything very, very deliberate. That team is so well drilled. You look at other mistakes in the team. So Trent Alexander-Arnold obviously couldn't play, he was injured, so the coach went with Fede Valverde, and he put him at right back. And this is something that's happened previously under Carlo Ancelotti. We all know that he can deputise quite well in that position. He's very good. However, there is a massive downside to this happening. It's the fact that you take him out of the midfield. Sounds really obvious, but you lose that energy, those lungs, that protection, that dominant force of nature in the centre of the park. And then you start to think, hang on a minute, he's forced 3 attackers into this side. He's taken Valverde, our most active and energetic midfielder, against the best midfield on the planet. It is no surprise that Vitinha and co had us for breakfast. They must have been salivating when they saw that starting 11. What, you mean that we've got to deal with Tchouaméni, Arda and Bellingham? You've got Arda and Bellingham who aren't exactly amazing when it comes to winning 50-50s. Bellingham himself got hooked. I thought that he was quite positive, some of the things that he did in the first half, but he's not got that energy, those lungs of a Fede Valverde to keep going and going and going. And it really did show. We lost the midfield battle and they schooled us. They really did. If you contrast the second half that they played with the second half that Real Madrid played against Borussia Dortmund, it's night and day. Because what they did is they suffocated the life out of Real Madrid. They kept them on that carousel, pass, pass, pass. What did we do? Threw it away. Absolutely bottled it. Dean Howson obviously missed the game because of his red card that he received against Borussia Dortmund. In comes Asensio. I really hope that the people who are clamouring for this romantic idea of the next Sergio Ramos, this homegrown talent, this centre-back who's played so well, to be starting games for Real Madrid, I really hope that they've woken up from that, because you had everything on display. And this might feel a little bit harsh, the fact that I'm digging him out over that mistake, but it's not the only one. It's not an isolated incident. He's very rash. He makes very poor decisions. And that yesterday was embarrassing, as it was for Tony Rudiger. And he's at least got the excuse of being 105 years old. You know what I'm trying to say here. He's not going to go on forever, and Real Madrid are massively short. They are crying out for something at the back in those centre-back positions. The positives that can take out the game, and there aren't many. The one big positive for me was Militao, the guy that I've been slating because he is often quite rash, but he had such a dominant display. Who else do I want to credit? Courtois. Okay, if it weren't for Courtois, maybe it would have been 6 or 7, but no one else is coming out of that game with any amount of respectability. What I saw was a team that humiliated the badge. They really should be ashamed of that performance. I think we need more personnel. I think obviously we need a little bit more time to get used to the system and his ideas, but There's major concerns that are bubbling under the surface, and if we do not address them during this window, I'm talking players in and players out, then we could be in for another rough ride this coming campaign. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts below, and if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care.